All right, once your bottom is dry, especially along the horizon line, then we're ready to paint the sky. Now, we already used lots of blue down here in the water, so we really don't want to make the sky blue. We want to make it a different color. So think of what a sky looks like at sunset. I mean, it can be so many different colors. It can be yellow, it can be orange, it can be purple, it can be blue, it can, be even green at the top. So I want you to use some of those colors in your sky tonight, or today, excuse me, and we're gonna paint the sky. But I want you to use that technique that we used on Monday, the wet on wet, because I really want it to bleed. Now, I know when people say sunset, you want to put the yellow in the middle and then the orange, but it doesn't need to be that way. If you've ever been down to the Avon Lake Pier at sunset, you always have to wait for what we call the afterglow. That's when the sun sets below the horizon and the whole sky becomes like crazy colors, purples and blues and oranges and all of those kind of colors. So we're gonna use the watercolors, okay? And do one of those bleeds in there where wet on wet, okay? So you're gonna take your water and pick your colors here. Let's see. I am a big fan of magenta. So I'm gonna start with my magenta. I'm gonna wet some of my paper in a few places. I'll wet it in a few places. And then I'm gonna add some of this magenta in there and just watch it bleed. Watch it run. And if it's not bleeding, then you can just take some water and you can add some more water onto it. Okay? So work on your sky. Well, let me do another color here for you, and then I'll give you work time here. What do I wanna do? I already did the blue on the bottom, so let's add some of this purple. I don't know if I like that so much. It seems like it's the same color. Let's add another one. Let's see, let's put some yellow in there. All right. Oh, yeah. Now, don't overwork. If you're crossing the color, remember, these are complementary colors. And if they mix together, they make that brown color. So don't overpaint this. You don't want to like scrub. Like just leave enough down there that it will bleed together. Don't like scrub it all into one color because it's just going to turn like brown, like your watercolor cup when you wash too much and it turns like that gray muddy color. Okay? All right. So spend some time. Work on your sky, get it to bleed. And I've got a really good bleed going on here. Oh, someone's joining us. Okay, I've got a really good bleed going in here with these purples and these orange or yellows there, okay? All right, my little artist, take some time, finish your sky. Oh, Mrs. Eckert's helping me out here, I forgot something. So while this is wet, I am so sorry. This is what the salt is for, okay? In the area, while it's still wet, before you move on to another area, take your salt and sprinkle your salt on that area, okay? And then just leave it and go on to another area. All right, let me do a little more here. Thank you, Mrs. Eckert. I totally forgot that we were using those salts. All right, so I'm gonna do some more. And then every time you finish a section, pour some salt on that section. When you're done with this, okay, I want you to set it aside to dry with the salt on it. So like maybe pick up the whole like piece of placemat, the paper that you have underneath it, and just set it aside. Because when it's dry, then we'll wipe the salt off and you'll see all of these little speckles in the sky. Okay, so let me recap real quick before Mrs. Eckert turns me off. You're doing the wet on wet technique. Let it all bleed. Try not to use the same colors as you did in the water, and then sprinkle that area with salt. Set it all aside to dry. When it's dry, we'll come back for the next step. We'll wipe the salt off, and then we'll do our tree work in there. Okay? All right, get working, campers.